Chairperson Shinsky, can you hear us? Hello, can you hear us, Mr. Shinsky?
Now, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can, Chairperson Shinsky. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we're at the normal Zoom. There's everybody on the screen. So it is 5:34. I would like to call to order the August 9th, 2022 Indio Public Arts Commission meeting to order. And Commission Member Newmeyer, would you like to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Sure. Do we need to do a roll call first?
Yes, we do per the agenda.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No problem, Bill.
Commissioner Gutierrez,
Yes, excuse me, I'm not reading correctly. Roll call, thank you, yes.
Commissioner Gutierrez, Commissioner Becerra, Commissioner Cruz and Dejas,
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Niemeyer,
I'm here.
Chairperson Shinsky.
And for the record, Chairperson Shinsky and Commissioner Becerra are present.
I'm here, I've got to say now that I've got a really unstable connection. So if I disappeared, don't be shocked. You know, pledge of allegiance, please. Commissioner Newmeyer.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Item 3, public comment for items not on the agenda. Do we have any?
We don't have any tonight, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Item number 4, the minutes from the January 11th meeting, February 6, 2022, and March 6, 2022. Did everyone get a chance to go over those? And if you did, do you have any corrections, additions, comments?
Mr. Chair, it seems like there's no comments from the commissioners.
Thank you. Then item 5, presentations. Do we have a presentation tonight?
Mr. Chairperson, the minutes needs to be approved by vote.
Why am I forgetting all this? Yes, they do. May I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Uh-oh. Unfortunately, Bill, your connection is cut out. I just wanted to clear this. I wanted to clear something up real quick before we vote on that. Because not all of us were present at all of these meetings, we're gonna have to do them all separately. Bill, can you still hear?
Commissioner Vice Chair Newmeyer, Chairperson Shinsky just texted me if possible, you take over the meeting from this point on. Thank you.
Okay, we're at item 4.1 for minutes, the Public Art Commission minutes for January 11 of 2022, February 8, 2022, and March 8, 2022. We'll have to have independent motions because not all of us were present. So I'll hear a motion for January 11 approval unless there's any comments.
I'll move.
We'll hear a second.
I'll second.
Okay. All those in favor, we'll do a voice vote.
Aye.
Yes.
And I'll also say aye. Commissioner Becerra?
Yes.
Okay. For your minutes, Kristen.
Motion carried.
Okay. I will hear a motion for February 8 minutes for approval.
So moved.
Need a second?
Second.
All
I'll
those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
I abstained from that one. I was not present. And finally, March 8th, 2022. I'll move that we approve those minutes. Can we hear a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Commissioner Crisendejas has to abstain on that one. She was not present.
Motion carried.
Okay, moving on to presentations. Item 5, do we have any?
We don't have any presentations from public tonight.
Okay. We have a guest here. Is this for action item 6.1? Ms. Nembar?
Item 6.1 will be presented by Ms. Sarah Toyoda. She's our environmental specialist for the city of Indio. So I will wait for her presentation to be shown by our IT, and she's gonna present that. And I believe Mr. Neumeyer may have a conflict of interest, so he is leaving the dais and also leaving the chambers right now for the record. So with that, I'll ask Ms. Toyoda to do the presentation.
Thank you. I'm Sarah Toyota, the Environmental Programs Coordinator for the City of Indio. And I am going to give a little bit of a background on the Clean California Grant and how this RFP came to be in front of you tonight. The Clean California Grant is administered by Caltrans. It was created to beautify and clean up local streets and other public areas. Caltrans is inundated with litter on the sides of the roads. If you drive along the freeways, anywhere there's a fence especially, you'll see that there's always buildup of some kind of trash and litter. So they created the Clean California Grant with a couple of goals, and one is to try and mitigate some of that in the public spaces and to enhance or rehabilitate some of these streets that could use some restoration. They really wanted to emphasize public health and cultural connections and also equity. And this was a statewide competitive grant. So we understood that every city in the state has a street or an area that would qualify for this grant. So we were trying to figure out how we could stand out. And in the guidelines for this grant, Caltrans really talked about placemaking and art and culture. And there's good reason for that. There's more and more studies that show the connection between art, culture, and sustainability. And it doesn't matter whether it's litter or waste or water. The fundamental idea is that if we're going to stop this litter from actually happening, it's going to take really a fundamental shift in our culture, and that nothing really speaks to that the way art does. This was, I think, a fairly new concept to my industry, but apparently the artists have known this for a very long time. The National Endowment for the Arts defines creative placemaking basically as the integration of arts and culture, design activities in an effort to strengthen communities. It requires partnerships across sectors, engages deeply the community, artists, designers, and helps to advance local economic, physical, and or social change. That's not verbatim. It's a lengthy, but it's important because this is how we figured we could stand out. If we could build in the art element, the cultural elements to what we wanted to do with this grant, then that could make it more meaningful in a lot of ways and also, of course, stand out from other communities. We also looked at some of the other plans in Indio, and from the Indio General Plan 2040, this is a map of primary gateways in the city. And one of those gateways is where I-10 intersects with Jackson Street. And in the general 2040 plan, it says gateways are identified entrance points into the cities that are or could be enhanced with unique design features such as monuments, gateway markers, art, or signatures. So ultimately, the city was granted just under $5 million to work on a section of Jackson Street just south of those gateway markers. It's the area between Kenner Street south to Avenue 45. We have funding to do some litter cleanups, but also to add big belly waste containers, new sidewalks, trees, and artistic shade elements. What we're asking for you to do tonight is take a look at an RFP that would allow us to invite an artist to work with Michael Baker International, who will be doing the sidewalks. They're going to design the sidewalks, and it made sense to create the shade structures as we were doing the sidewalks. We were really limited in where we could add trees because we could only put them where irrigation already existed. And if you've ever walked this section of Jackson Street, it's immediately apparent that there's no shade. So what we're asking is for an artist to work collaboratively with Michael Baker International to bring an artist's vision to the design of that shade project or of those shade projects. And then Michael Baker will work with them to make sure that it's something that can be built, that is functional, that can work within the right-of-way constraints of the area, withstand the wind, the insane heat, all of those things, but still keep that artistic element. The funding is paid for by the grant for the artist. And if you have any questions about that RFP, I'm happy to answer them.
I have a question. Is there a deadline on the design or when this is supposed to go into place?
It's a very fast-moving grant. We literally have about 2 years to complete it. So there is in the RFP certain deadlines for when to get the artist started, but we didn't really push a timeline past that besides the fact that we have to have it done in so much. So there will be
Zoom to work on my phone. So, oh, you can hear. Okay. All right. Excuse me.
There's not a specific deadline, but they will work with Michael Baker to stay within the task or on track to be able to bid out the entire thing to have it put into or actually be built within the time frame of the grant.
And then just to add to what Ms. Toyota said, the Arts Commission function here is just to use your artistic expertise in choosing the artist in collaboration with Ms. Toyota and her team. So basically the parameter of your work is at the selection with ad hoc committee and then come back again for the finalists to be approved by the commission.
Okay, got it. So it would be, the purpose would be to create another ad hoc to choose an artist and you said something else. I lost my train of thought.
So the recommendation is to basically approve the RFP and reappoint the ad hoc committee, because as you recall, previously in the beginning of the summer, this was before the commission, and there was an ad hoc committee appointed, which was yourself, Commissioner Cruz, and Commissioner Becerra. So to reappoint that, and the ad hoc committee basically works with Ms. Toyota and her team to select 3 finalists, and those 3 finalists will come to the Arts Commission for the final artist and design selection.
Okay.
Hello? Oh, okay. All right. But I can't hear you. No, stable connection. All right.
So, so if the commission don't have any question, then the commission may vote on this item per the agenda, which says to approve a request for proposal for the Jackson Street Shade Art Project funded through the Caltrans Clean California Local Grant Program, and to reappoint the Ad Hoc Committee for Artist/Artwork Selection for the Public Arts Commission's consideration.
Commissioner,
If you can hear me, then I'll make the motion to approve item 6.1, but I need a second.
I'll second.
Okay. Commissioner
Voice.
Cruz
Roll call.
seconded it. Yes, we will have a roll call.
Commissioner Gutierrez, Commissioner Becerra,
Yes.
Commissioner Cruz and Dejas,
Yes.
Chairperson Chinsky. Motion carried.
I actually have a question about the RFPs, like in general. I was wondering if we have any of them translated in Spanish, and if we don't, if it's possible to get these RFPs translated in Spanish.
There will be a cost, but we can do that. There's a third-party company that does that for us, but there will be a cost to it. But certainly, if that's the commission's direction, we can do that in the future.
And where would that cost come from? Would that come from the arts, or would that come from?
So it depends. For example, on this RFP, it will come from the grant. If the grant allows for translation purposes, if not, then there's no way for them to translate it. And if it is an RFP related to public arts fund, it will come from the public arts fund, because I believe there's a purview there for the admin costs. But it is not, so as I said, it's a cost to it. So we need to absorb it. The other portion of this item was to reappoint the ad hoc committee, which was Commissioner Cruz and Commissioner Becerra, again to this item. And that requires a vote as well.
Can I move to approve, even though I'm on the ad hoc committee?
Okay, and anybody seconds it?
I'll second.
Great. Can we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Gutierrez, Commissioner Becerra,
Yes.
Commissioner Cruz and Dejas,
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Niemeyer,
Yes.
Chairperson Chinsky. Motion carried.
Do I need to resume control?
Yes, so Vice Chair EJ is back to the meeting, and he will lead the rest of the meeting.
Okay.
Thank you.
Moving on to item 6.2, the Shark Shields Park project.
There we go. So good evening again, members of the commission. My name is Leila Nambar. My title has been changed to Public Arts Analyst, so I need to get used to it. So I'm the Public Arts Analyst for the City of India. Very excited about it. The item 6.2 before you is Shields Park project. As you recall, back in, I believe, April, we approved a work plan, and this project was part of it. Because as you know, there is a CV link will connect through a bridge over the wash, and it will go to through this area, past the, go through the city. And Shields Park is one of the areas that bikers can stop or not. And it is within a small park neighborhood, in a residential neighborhood. So as part of the civil link, and also to benefit the community, at the time we decided to do a shade structure there. So what the RFP is asking is inviting artists to create a sculptural, multifunctional shade structure or a gathering place within the Shields Park. The release date for the RFP is August 11, and the deadline is September 19. Based on that, staff recommends approval of the RFP and also to appoint an ad hoc committee for artist selection to go before the commission for final approval. That concludes my staff report. I'm ready to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you.
Does staff feel it's enough time for someone to submit? You get about 5 weeks.
If we don't get enough, then we extend it. But because we need to go through this yearly plan is for this fiscal year, so we want to make sure that before the end of the fiscal year we have something in plan. But we can extend it if the commission wishes to change that deadline. Certainly, we can do it right now as well.
I'm not sure that we necessarily need to change it right now. I'm just hoping that's enough time. If you guys feel we're going to get some responses in the next month.
It's a fast track. But seriously, if the commission thinks it's not enough, we can extend it. That's not a problem. If you think we should do it 9 weeks, 10 weeks, we can do that. That's not a problem.
Is that the standard amount of time that we usually do that, like 5 weeks?
So,
or is it because of what you were saying, the fiscal year?
Correct. And then I put more time, staff had dedicated more time for the design and fabrication and installation, so the artists have more time to do that. But here for a concept proposal, we had a time frame that could fit into our schedule. But again, we can certainly change that if the commission wishes to do so.
I don't necessarily think we need to change it, but hopefully we do get responses.
Perfect. Noted. Thank you.
I just have a question on within the RFP, it asked for it said for the artists to check for underground lines, power lines, etc. I was wondering how the artists are supposed to check, if they're given like a guideline as to where those are and where the installation should be.
So if I can add a section so they can contact a local company, Dig Alert, and then that's the company that they can give them the map of all the utilities. I can add that contact info for that company there, and also maybe add something along the lines. If if they have question, they can contact the staff for guidance on that one.
Okay, thank you.
Is that the commission wish? So we can amend when you guys approving the item, so you can also say with the requested amendments.
Well, there's language in there that says that they need to identify, you're just going to call Dig Alert number, and they're going to go out and sniff around for gas lines and water lines. Commissioner Becerra, that's pretty standard for construction activity. Hopefully, maybe if you don't have that language, Ms. Namvar, in the RFP, that it needs to get added. Is it not in there? On who to call, or that they need to call an outside subcontractor for that?
Sure, I can add that.
Okay, so we'll amend that in the motion.
Great.
Okay.
And also, Mrs. Shinsky's connection is not good. He just texted me that he would like to be one of the ad hoc committee members on this project.
Do we not have any standing members on this ad hoc yet?
No.
Okay. So we need a motion first to approve the RFP, and then a motion for adding ad hoc committee members?
Correct.
Okay. We'll hear a motion to approve the RFP.
Motion. Go for it, Cece.
Okay, I'll call a motion to approve the RFP for Shields Park project.
We're here a second.
I'll second the motion.
Do a roll call.
Commissioner Gutierrez,
Okay. You don't have to read his name. He's not here.
Commissioner Becerra,
Yes.
Commissioner Cruz and Dejas,
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Niemeyer,
Yes.
Chairperson Chinsky.
Chairperson Shinsky via text said yes on this RFP.
Motion carried.
Okay, so Mr. Shinsky has volunteered for the ad hoc. Do we have a second member who would like to be on this committee?
We did say there's an unlimited amount of,
Yes.
right? Okay, then I'll
Correct.
be on this one. That's fine.
Okay.
So a roll call, a vote on this, sorry.
Voting to approve Chair Shinsky and Commissioner Cruz-Dejas for the ad hoc committee for this. May I hear a movement? A motion?
I'll motion to approve the ad hoc committee.
I'll second.
Commissioner Becerra,
Yes.
Commissioner Cruz and Dejas,
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Niemeyer,
Yes.
Chairperson Chinsky. Motion carried.
Okay, moving on to item 6.3, an RFP for Big Belly Smart Waste Systems Beautification Wraps and for an ad hoc committee. Hello again.
This is part of the same Clean California Grant project. It's another piece of it where we were given funding to put in Big Belly waste containers, smart waste containers. They're smart containers because they're solar powered. They have compactors in the trash compartment. So the solar power compacts the trash, which means you have to go empty them less times, basically. They're also, they send a signal when they're full so that you don't necessarily, public works staff doesn't have to go out and check them. Plus, there's never any overflow, so you don't have to worry about that as well. So they send those signals, they're backed up with software, but they're also, you can wrap them in the same way you do signal boxes. We've put them in the downtown area, and these are some examples of what we've done before. And the idea is the same. The city spent quite a bit of time and energy doing a downtown specific plan. And then this allowed us to not just throw in waste containers as an afterthought and to add the placemaking elements using them. And so for the Clean California grant, we were granted funds for, I believe, 6 more of these. So we're looking for art to wrap 6 of them. And that is what this RFP is. It's part of the same grant, paid for by the grant. And this RFP follows very closely, correlates to the signal box RFPs you've put out in the past. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Any questions or comments? Is Chair Shinsky texting in?
Yeah, there's still connection issues.
Okay.
But we have a quorum, so
I don't have a copy of the RFP in front of me. What was the monetary value to the design? Was it similar to the box 500?
It's exactly the same. And I believe it was $750.
it is
Okay.
$750. Yeah,
Okay.
it's the same. Correct.
And as far as the artwork, is that from the art fund itself? And the big billions are from the grant?
No, the art funds will be covered by the grant as well.
Oh, okay.
So again, the same thing. The art piece will be covered by the grant. The commission only uses its artistic expertise with Sarah Toyoda's and her team for the selection. So it's a collaboration, basically.
Okay. So we'll be doing 2 motions on this one. If there's no more discussion, I hear a motion to approve the RFP. I'll move to approve the RFP for the Big Billy Smart Waste Systems.
I'll second.
Who got in there first?
You have to Vanessa.
Okay. Roll call vote.
Commissioner Becerra,
Yes.
Commissioner Cruz and Dejas,
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Niemeyer,
Yes.
Chairperson Shinsky. Motion carried.
Do we have any volunteers for the Ad Hoc Committee for selecting the artwork?
I'll volunteer.
Do we have a second?
So who volunteered? I'm sorry. So we need another person. So we need 2.
Oh.
So Commissioner Cruz and
I'll volunteer.
Commissioner Cruz and Vice Chair EJ volunteered. Great. So we need a vote.
I'll hear a motion to approve the 2 ad hoc committee members.
I'll motion to approve 2 ad hoc.
I hear a second.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Becerra,
Yes.
Commissioner Cruz and Dejas,
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Niemeyer,
Yes.
Chairperson Shinsky. Motion carried.
I believe that's the end for action items. Thank you for your presentation. Thanks for coming in. Moving on to the actual list of arts ad hoc committees, item 7.1.
So I will wait for there we go. So also before I start that, Mr. Shinsky, Chairperson Shinsky, apologize for his bad connection, not being able to be part of the meeting, to the commission and also to Ms. Smith. So this before you is the list of ad hoc committee which we decided so far. As you see, what is coming up is Mural number 12 project, which the deadline is August 22nd. So shortly after that, we would need to meet with the ad hoc committee for artist selection. The Clean California Grant Project, which was the shaded structure through the grant fund, we just have we reappointed the same in the commission members. The traffic signal box, which again I will contact the ad hoc committee before the end of this week to set up a date to go over the artwork that we have received. We used to have, we are still working on the merging, but not officially anymore. So if there is any needs to go back to that, subcommittee, the ad hoc committee is Chairperson Shinsky and Commissioner Cruz. Mural number 13 project, the deadline is September. So then again, at that time, we would need to meet with the subcommittee. I believe it's the middle of September, we need to meet. So just wanted to have these names and the deadlines for the ad hoc committee. And if you have any questions for me, please let me know now, or even if you don't have right now any questions, you can email me if you have any questions.
I'm good.
Well, actually, let me ask a question. How far in advance are you going to let us know about, like, if you needed to meet for an ad hoc? Only because my schedule does get very packed.
So in the RFP, you have the date that ad hoc committee meets. So
Okay.
all those RFPs has those dates at the end.
Okay.
So you always can refer to that. But basically, it is within the week from the deadline.
Okay, perfect.
But for these two that they're be very close, mirror number 12 and 13. Again, I'll send you an email before the end of this week, so you will have that date.
Okay.
We can wiggle the date or change the date, maybe a day or two here and there. But again, the schedules are in the RFP and they are set tight to meet the goal of finishing everything within the same fiscal year.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Commissioner Becerra, any comments?
None right now. Thank you.
Should we move on to the Acquisher Arena Mural project?
Sure. So this arena, as you know, the hockey arena is outside the city limit. So the public art fund cannot commission anything for this project. However, they reach out to us because the plan to have 9 murals for the 9 cities in the valley. And as you see, it will be placed on those walls. The Flat Black Art Supply is the curator that will basically administer this process, contacting artists. They will create 9 murals, 10 feet by 20 feet in height. And what's happening is staff would like the chairperson and vice chairperson to be part of the team that they review the murals. However, that doesn't mean that any true selection will happen, because, as I said, it is through an outside third party selection outside the city limit. But there's a team being put together, including council, city manager. So that's why staff believes that chairperson and vice chairperson attending those review panels or meetings will be beneficial. And the city's marketing team will pay or participate in the funding of this mural. So it will be collaboration between the Flat Black Art Supply, the Arena, the marketing department of the city, and the policymakers of the city, and also the commission.
So Flat Black is working on the designs, and I assume they have their group of artists that they're working with.
Correct.
Okay.
And then the timeline, which the timeline is there. So it looks like around September is the time that the cities could review or may review the artworks for approval.
So they've got a timeline saying artists selected and approved by each city. Are they going, is Flat Black going to submit work for us to look at, or are we're waiting until September until they're approved? Has that already happened?
That's all we have for now. I don't have any additional information, but I can contact them tomorrow or before the end of the week to see how dedicated they are into this timeline.
I was just reading the timeline, and it says artists selected and approved by each city. So I'm wondering what body does that when that happens? Because who meets the 15th to the 26th? Is that just the ad hoc of the chair and vice chair? So
it's not the chair or vice chair. I'm sorry, it's not an ad hoc. I apologize. It's not an ad hoc committee, but again, you be part of those meetings.
Right.
Correct. But it is basically, we don't have all the information. There may come before the approval, or just maybe these are we chose. So if the city team bless it.
Okay.
Any other question for staff?
No.
So again, this is informational item to just let the commission know that this is coming, and that's a suggestion and recommendation from staff.
If there's no more comments or questions, move on to 7.3.
So item 7.3 is Coachella artwork. As you remember or recall, we're supposed to go to a tour to see the artwork, but it was due to the wind and the advisory weather committee, tour canceled. But right now there are several artworks that it seems that the city council is interested to get one or some of them. So these are the artworks that they are available. So the top, the two on the right are the shape of the dogs, which they have plant in them. It could be suitable for any of our parks. The more larger structure to the left. Also the top structure, which could has lighting and at night, could be even more interesting. And also the paisley work that was made for 2019, I believe. So these are all available for us to take. So at this point, we just want the commission to know about the availability, and if the commission would like, we can bring it back in an official format to you for next meeting or the meeting after that, September or October. And again, it will be probably the same on the long lease, and there will be some costs associated with transport and installation.
Okay.
That concludes this update for this item. If you have any question, I'll be happy to answer.
No question. Commissioner Becerra, any questions?
No questions at this moment.
Okay, thank you. I think we'll move on to 7.4.
So we have mural restoration program that I'm going to combine both. For some reason, forgot to add this one. I apologize. But the Anna's Bakery and the transportation mural that's located at the Clark's Travel Center, it's being graffitied and it's in the bad condition. The paints are peeling and it seems like it needs attention. I have contacted the artist. The artist is not doing murals anymore. He notified me that he will contact one of his friends, which is a muralist, to give an estimate to see if that's something that could be fixed. So we are in contact for that mural conservation or removal with the artist. The other mural that again is in bad shape and we were supposed to go revisit in 12 months from the time that the council approved the mural conservation plan in January. It's been in bad shape. I just went there this week, and it seems like areas is peeling and detaching from the wall. And on the bottom part, it looks like it's worse than the top. So again, I have contacted staff has contacted the artist, Bijan Masum Hana, and he is putting together a budget and a timeline for the repair of this one as well. The repair cannot be done during right now in August. It's hot, so it will be done sometime in October. But again, it will come before you for decision on the cost, budget, timeline, and everything else. Just wanted to let you know that these two murals also need immediate attention, and staff is working on that.
Okay. One of the things I'll look into is whether or not maybe we can ask Bijan, if he did the surface prep or if that was done for him before that building. And
Sure, I can ask you.
And do we still have a current lease on that building? I believe it's sold.
The building has sold. I have the contact information for the current owner, which I can reach out to them as well.
Okay. If there's no other comments or questions on the mural restoration program, I'll move on to item 8, staff items.
There's no staff item.
There's no staff items. Okay, item 9, commissioner comments.
I don't have any at this time.
Commissioner Becerra?
Not right now, thank you.
I don't have any comments for the moment.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Commission. Thank you, Mr. Vice Chairperson, for leading the meeting. Thank you very much.
We will adjourn. It is 6:26.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.